So, yeah.
It's so nice to just talk a little, you and I. I was just thinking, would you be interested if I told you a little about myself?
Please, go ahead.
I told you about my flute, didn't I? That it vanished 2 days after I told Haldan that I wouldn't marry him. Of course I instantly realized that it was Haldan who had taken my flute. But when I confronted him, he just laughed me in the face. He said I would never see the flute again, that such a precious flute was wasted on someone like me anyway, as I was going to be a wife and not a bard. As he didn't want his future wife to play music, he had simply sold my flute to weird Skyrim Khajiit bard. He said he was entitled to do this, being my fiancé and all. I wanted to take off for Skyrim immediately, trying to track down that Khajiit bard. But then something unexpected happened. My grandma got ill. Of course she was more important to me than any flute in the world. We realized that she didn't have many days left, and I wanted to be at her side. Ever since I returned to Solstheim, she and I had been working on various ways to restore the content of my mysterious bottle, but without success. As she realized she was dying, she was saddened that she hadn't been able to help me, but she did have one final suggestion for me. That I should bring the bottle to Elderglim's sanctuary and ask the pilgrims there for help. They know a lot about the kind of magic that has been involved in this bottle. A little later my grandmother died, and at the funeral I met my cousin Hans, who had recently returned from Skyrim. He told me about the person he had met that sounded, well, so much like you. Maybe it was you? I don't know how long you have been here. At any rate, this gave me 3 reasons to travel to Skyrim. To bring the bottle to Elderglim's sanctuary, to track down my flute, and to look for you. Well, as it turned out, it actually was you who found me. With the bottle I know what to do, but when it comes to the flute, I have so far not had any success.
Can I help you in any way?
Yes, that would be wonderful, of course. Ever since I arrived in Skyrim, I have been asking around among bards I have met, but no one has seen a Khajiit with a Cyrodiil dogwood flute. We should continue to ask around. Maybe we could ask the innkeepers if he has been seen. And maybe it would also be a good idea to ask Khajiits in general. Maybe he has relatives somewhere. If you would help me with this, it would be tremendous. Oh, if I only had my flute, I would be happy to play for you as often as you wish.
Started. Villagers missing flute. Ask bards, innkeeps en Khajiits. Dan is dat de volgende taak. Eerst de cabin. Maar als we er nu toch zijn, heb ik wel iets van... Well, let's do it.
Have you heard the tale of Ariele and Paler? They were
Ja,
mortals.
ik heb een bericht gekregen een paar minuten
made a
geleden.
wager on the nature of man. Ariele, kind-hearted and pure, believed that man was a builder, and his failures were the foundation of progress. Paler, cynical and measured, believed that the soul was constantly eroding and that foundation would soon collapse. Yet only time could tell the truth of it. So they entombed themselves deep in an ancient ruin and cast a spell that turned a single night into 1,000 years.
What happened?
When Ariele awoke, she rushed outside to greet the new age. She found cities that kissed the heavens and ships that walked upon the waves. In towns she saw faces creased not by war, but by the broadness of a smile.
What about Palar?
Ah, in Ariele's excitement, she'd forgotten about her brother, but not for long. Certain that she had won the wager, she ran back to the ruins to tell him the news. Yet, when she opened Palar's coffin, she found it empty, save for a wooden stake and a pile of dust.
And the point of the story is?
That you can change the world, but you can't change its people.
The name can't be a coincidence. Was Polly your brother?
Yes. Sometimes I wonder if this is another one of his tricks. As if one day he'd walk through that door and it'd be like he never left. But such thoughts are the foolishness of an idle mind, and I have been idle for far too long.
How did you become a vampire?
It was Palar who gave me the gift. He called it a spell to ward off time. I never thought of it as malicious. My brother made sure I would never see its trappings.
Once you became a vampire, did you feed?
Not in the way you're implying. You see, Palar hasn't won our wager. Not entirely. Society may always be cynical, but I refuse to be.
Is there any way I can help?
Why, yes, there may be. Given my condition, I had to employ 2 young wards to bring me food and supplies. Neither has returned in a fortnight, however, and I'm beginning to worry that they may be in jeopardy.
You'll be in jeopardy as well, I assume.
That may be, but I have been dead for a long time, and your concern should be with the living.
Where should I look for your wards?
Lila and Herodes went fishing near the coast of Dawnstar. In my madness, I told them I longed for slaughterfish. Perhaps one of the guards has seen them. If you do head to the city, then you have my gratitude. I can only hope that virtue still rules the hearts of men.
Nou, dan zou je dan ook wel beginnen met zoeken voor die plaatsen voor... Weet je, Dawnstar Barracks. Minecraft. Ik ben ook bij de Dawnstar Barracks geweest, blijkbaar. Dus even erin en daar weer uit en zo.
Strange.
Wacht, die tent van net. Of dat die tent van mij en Vilja sowieso al? Wacht even hoor. Voor mij wel. Voor mij is dit exact die tent. Ja, dit is onze tent. Ik weet niet, hebben we die dan hier toen het had... Oh ja, die hebben jullie toen net opgezet inderdaad. Toen we op zoek waren naar dat sneeuwgebied waar die relatives zouden moeten zijn.
Greetings, traveler. The weather is positively sublime, isn't it? Crisp air and a clear sky. The divines have truly blessed us today.
The weather's alright, nothing to complain about.
And isn't that a wonderful thing? To be without complaints? I think it is something worth celebrating. I should know. I used to always complain about how my son would wander off pointlessly without direction. Now that I wander in his stead, I see my folly. For the only way to find yourself is to lose yourself.
I don't see your son. Is he by chance standing behind you?
He is, but only in spirit. My son passed away 10 years ago, wandering around Tamriel. Whenever he left, he always kept a letter on his person, so that if he died, perhaps some kind and gentle soul would deliver the letter to me.
Oké.
May you lose your way and find adventure.
Oh, dat doe ik sowieso wel. Oh, dat is met die boten, oké. Dat is geen in.
My wife Beethild is dead. Can't say I miss that old saber cat. Until next time.
Oké. Sprina's house. Motor en pistool. Welk huis moet ik hebben als ik naar de dingen zoek?
Leggett?
Gedeeltjes Smith. Dan gok ik dat het hier ergens is. Ja, dit is het in. The Windpeak Inn. Niks aan.
The Windpeak Inn features the finest bard in all of Dawnstar. Me. I'd
I'm
better.
sorry.
This is a local.
My mind was
and
just
one of
somewhere
the
else.
first songs I ever
Do you
learned.
need a room?
Ragnar the
Drink?
Red.
Have you seen a Khajiit bard with a Cyrodiil dogwood flute?
Ask Bromarash. The caravan.
And the braggart did swagger and brandish his blade as he told
Find
the
Dromarash.
battles and gold he had.
Quests.
made. But then he went quiet, did Ragnar the Red, when he met the shield maiden Matilda.
Oké. Zie je de buurt? Word ik helemaal naar Riften toegeleid? Juist, dank je. Hey.
The wind blows bitter cold in this place.
Have seen a Khajiit bard with a Cyrodiil dogwood flute.
There. Of course, Dromash knows Racine and his magic flute. Racine is Dromarash's second cousin. Yes, Racine has played the magic flute for us. But Racine needs to work on warm sand, not cold ice. Racine wanted a warmer earth than ours. Zara, Racine cannot be found here anymore. Search for my second cousin, Raptr. That is where his feet wanted to wander.
May your road lead you to one second.
Wacht hoor. Find a cheat who has Vilja's flute. Kom in de buurt! Alleen ik denk niet dat ze genoeg tijd hebben. Ik hoop van wel. Kom op. 3,5 minuten is te kort. Zo hier binnen. Dus misschien dat het nog lukt. Ik heb zo mijn twijfels, maar hey.
Do you
No.
want something, friend?
Can we talk about your flute?
Oh yes, Racine has the best flute in all of Skyrim. It is made of cereal dogwood and is very precious. Will Sarah listen to the flute?
We should be fighting those witch
No, that flute does not belong to you.
Sarah? It is my flute. I have bought it in Solstein
Sure.
from a fine lord man. I had paid for it in my
I served
own
in the
money
Great War against the
when
Thalmor.
almost.
I've fought in more battles than I've got years of
So,
life in.
how can anyone say that the flute does not belong to Racine?
The man who sold you the flute has stolen it.
Sarah? It cannot be true. The man looked very honorable. Ah, it is true, isn't it? Racine has been fooled. Yes, yes, Racine could feel that in his bones. The flute does not belong to Racine. Therefore, it will not play the way Racine wants it to play. So, tell me, who is the owner of the flute?
The flute belongs to my companion, Vilja. It's a gift from my grandmother.
Ah, it belongs to your friend. Yes, Racine can feel that this is a girl's flute, not a man's flute. And Racine is a gentleman who wouldn't want to upset a pretty girl or her grandmother.
Can we then please have the flute?
Well, that is not possible. A bard needs to have a flute to play, and Racine hasn't got another flute. There was a flute, but it is gone.
What if I buy you a new flute?
No, that wouldn't do. Racine wants his old flute. Oh, it is a sad, sad tale. Racine should have listened to his mother, who always said gambling is bad. But Racine didn't listen. Racine wanted to play Put a Tail of a Donkey with a little wooden fellow and a big North friend. And Racine lost. Racine had no money, so instead Racine gambled with the old flute. It now belongs to the little wooden fellow.
What if I retrieve your old flute?
Ooh, then Racine will be very happy. Then Racine no longer needs the new flute. Then you may buy it.
Wait a second. Why would I want to buy a flute that rightly belongs to Vilja?
Because Racine has paid for it. Racine didn't know it was stolen. Sarah, Racine has paid 500 gold for the flute.
We should be fighting.
I will retrieve the flute for you.
Sarah, that is very kind.
Makes me long for the
Racine's
old
old flute
Yeah.
It's a very good
Sure.
flute.
What do you know?
You must then find the little wooden fellow
I served
and
in the
his
Great
big
War
North
against the
friend.
Thalmor. I've fought in
They
more
say
battles than I've
we're
got
going
years of
to
life in.
Riddlewood. You might want to ask around there. Where you walk on warm sand.
Oké. Ik heb misschien een idee, want het kan raar zijn, maar het kan ook echt zijn. Die twee die op het begin ook dat flesje hadden gestolen. Zou hun dat dan niet zijn die fluit gestolen, die fluit hebben? Ik weet niet zeker wat hun waren. Eentje was enorm groot en dan was nog klein. Dus aan de ene kant klopt dat deel van de beschrijving. Maar goed, beste kijkers, dan gaan we de volgende keer verder. Gewoon tot de volgende keer.